Every family has a choice, follow the herd or carve their own path. This is the Lone Wolf Podcast. Are you ready to stray from the pack?
Welcome to the Lone Wolf Podcast. Hello!
All right, well, welcome back to Lone Wolf Podcast.
Welcome back.
Well, we are going to do a kind of 3-part series similar to how we did the fertility files.
Mm-hmm.
I guess this is almost like a part 2 to fertility files if you really think of it.
Yeah, it's the product.
Yeah, of
the reward.
Yeah. I'm personally really excited about this one. I think Jordan's partial, but I think he'll find that. I think you'll find that it's fun.
Yeah, I like talking about my baby.
Yeah, well, yeah. But we're going to be talking about pregnancy, our birth, our postpartum.
Mm-hmm.
If you're like, ooh, not for me, and you're about to hit pause and pick a different podcast, wait a second, because we're going to make sure it's going to be classic Lone Wolf style. We'll make sure we have some good stuff in here.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to make sure that there is something that both female and male can get out of this.
Yes.
So if you are currently a dad planning to have kids someday, you have grandchildren, whatever it is, I really think that there is something that could be taken from not just this episode, but the 2 to follow.
For sure. Even if you have kids already and you're planning to have more.
Yeah, totally.
Or maybe you didn't have a home birth and you want to have a home birth.
Mm-hmm. Or even just a natural birth or a different birth, or you want to, just make like different choices this time.
Right.
I think that there will be something to learn. And if not, I feel like you and I are half decent at storytelling. So at least you can listen to a story.
Yeah.
Yeah. While you fold your laundry or whatever it is that you're doing currently.
Right.
Okay, well, I think a good place to start that many people are probably intrigued by is how did you feel knowing that you had pretty much no choice in where our baby was going to be born?
I mean, I was all for it.
Yeah.
You know, there was zero part of me that wanted to have anything but the birth that we had set up.
Did you like know from the very beginning that your children would be born at home? Was I at that point?
I think we spoke about it pretty early on.
I'm trying to think. So I do work in birth work.
Right.
If this is the first episode you guys are listening to, I don't know where I was at in birth work when we started dating though. If I was like,
I think you were wanting to be a doula, or you were a doula.
No, I was already a doula. I was a doula before I had Holland.
Yeah, that's right.
Like 2016.
Yeah. Okay, and then you were in nursing school.
Yeah.
To be like a nurse in a hospital.
True.
So that changed.
Yeah. So with Holland, just to back it up a little bit, with Holland 6 years ago, I knew that I did not want an epidural. I wanted to go unmedicated, but I wanted to be in the hospital. I did have a midwife as my primary like care provider. I wanted, a little more of a natural approach. But like I wasn't at the point of picking home birth.
Right.
And so I think after that, all I knew for sure is that I wanted to have a VBAC.
Yeah.
Which for anybody who doesn't know, that's a vaginal birth after cesarean VBAC. I knew for sure I wanted that. I would love to never have a C-section again, to be honest. And I had a fairly good experience. I don't want to sound scary about C-sections, but no thanks.
I think also we had a lot of time to figure out our birth plan.
Yeah.
Because we couldn't get pregnant.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of talk about us wanting to get pregnant, and then also about like the birth that we had envisioned, and we had plenty of time to talk and dwell on that.
At the point once we decided to like start conceiving, I was already a birth assistant and I was attending births.
Yeah, we already knew you wanted to do
I already knew that like that's what I wanted for myself. Right. Yeah, so it's not that we like needed to like do a bunch of research, and sit on this idea and talk it out with each other to decide. Like we knew that that's what we wanted
I mean, I
at the very beginning.
definitely wouldn't have been as passionate about it had it not like had you not wanted it so much, because I don't give birth. You know what I mean? Like it's not something that I sit around and think about.
Of course not.
So,
But you know what I think is really, I think, important in what you just said is that you're completely right. And I think that's so valid. And I think that's how most men feel in the birth space is like, it's not really something that they think about because it's not like their bodies or their experience. But I do want to offer kind of a flip side to that, that like it is your birth and it does matter. And I don't just mean like you, I mean like
Right.
men in general. And that birth is really, really powerful. It's really, really impactful because it's literally the birth of your family.
Right.
It's the entryhood of you as a woman into motherhood and the man into fatherhood, and the joining in the like most profound, amazing, intimate, special way by literally creating a human
For sure.
of each other.
Right.
You know what I mean? And the way that like a woman is like made to feel, and the experience that she has in that like rite of passage really matters and is super impactful for like the long-term health of that woman and her relationship with that baby and her relationship with her partner.
Right.
And I think the exact same thing goes for dads.
For sure.
Because there's like, now that you can speak on it, and we won't jump the gun, we'll touch on it once we get there, but like you've experienced what it's like to be a part of the labor and watch your baby be born without medical intervention and be a part of that experience. And it bonded us.
Right.
It bonded us as a couple on a very deep level. It bonded us to our baby.
For sure.
Like it's such an important like entry into the birth of your family. Right. You know what I mean?
No, and I'm not downplaying any of that.
No,
I'm not
I know
that,
you're
like,
not.
Men aren't men aren't involved in that, and it's not something that's profound for a man
but
as
that's
well.
Not, but that's not what I said at all. I'm saying that what you said is completely valid because most men, they don't carry that load. They're not really thinking about those things. They're just kind of like, whatever my wife's going to pick is what I'm kind of going to go along with.
Yeah.
I'm not saying all men should sit here and like berate their wife and be like, you better have a home birth.
No,
because
but also there's also on the flip side of that, there's also women that would like to have a home birth, and the men are like, we're not.
I see it a lot.
We're going to the hospital. This is how you do it. You need a doctor there. What if something could go wrong? And like there is a level of fear behind that because obviously things can go wrong.
Yeah.
So, but there's also like, it's almost like a control thing. It seems like this is what we're supposed to do. And you've been watching too many TikTok videos.
I think it's one of two things.
And you're just a crazy woman.
It's one of two things in my opinion. One is, I think in general, men have a natural desire to protect. Yeah. And they feel like this is my wife and this is my unborn child. And I have a duty to keep them both safe and well and protected. And we have been convinced that the hospital is the only place to do so. Right. So, and then second is that I really believe that it comes from a place of like ignorance and misunderstanding.
For sure.
Where you just don't like, you think that midwives are like witches who like make potions and tinctures,
or like it's very like it's a woo woo.
Yeah, that it's some that's what I'm saying. Like it's some woo woo thing where they like do a little dance and sage the house. Like that's not what a midwife is.
Right.
You know,
I think more often than not, and you know this too because you're the one who sees it. But like the guys that come in, it's like my wife is like here she goes again on like she wants to do something crazy and like stupid, like let me be the voice of reason.
I'm curious for you, what was the experience like with our prenatal care from your perspective?
You mean like,
and I think what's hard is you have nothing else to compare it to because we never like went to an OB and then we're like, wow, this sucks, let's change and find something else. Like you only know this.
I mean, we dealt with the clinical setting with IVF.
That's fair. Totally.
So that wasn't very fun.
No.
I mean, there's nothing fun about going to the IVF clinic.
No, and there's not really a ton of like bedside or like
intimate
relationship building.
Very sterile. Like there was not like a whole lot of like, how are you doing type thing. It was more of like, here's what we're going to do to you.
Yep.
And if this doesn't work, you're going to take this medication. You're going to come back.
Yep. See you in 48 hours.
Good luck.
Yeah.
don't get upset if it doesn't work. We'll do it again.
Yeah, there's no like first name basis or
Yeah.
anything. I mean, I did get to know like the lady at the front, but other than that,
right. And the nurse that we had, she was nice, but
yeah,
what it was,
but it was
like,
not intimate in any way.
No, they weren't reaching out to see how you feel.
No, I literally couldn't even get a hold of people when I needed to.
So in that sense, going to like the birth center and meeting with the people that you work with, it's like meeting with Sarah and Regina, who was our doula. All of that was great. I thought it was awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, like Regina had really good stuff to show me as far as like different postures during birth and different exercises and all that kind of stuff, which was cool.
I kind of forgot that we like did all that with her. Like we did the prenatal visits with her.
Right.
So we chose a midwifery model, and what's fun is I'm actually going to interview our midwife, Sarah. That'll be one of our next episodes. And then we also then hired, so Sarah would be our medical provider in this situation. I'm explaining this to anybody who doesn't understand these titles. And then we hired a doula, which is an emotional support, person. They are not clinical. They are not medical. They do not provide clinical skill whatsoever. Right. They are there for
make sure you're comfortable
through it all.
Help out me, help out you.
Yeah.
Just kind of facilitate any additional needs.
Yes. Right. And I also interview Regina, and so we'll have that episode as well too, all about doulas if you are interested. Right. And then her and I get really nerdy about birth, so there's some good stuff in there too. Great. But so with her, we had typically it's 3 prenatals. I think we only did 2 with her. Because it was one of those things where I was like, I don't need it, because I was a doula for however 5-6 years. That I was like, I don't need it, but I didn't even think about the fact that it was like your first baby.
But also, even though you don't need it, it is kind of nice to be in the situation where like you're getting that care from somebody else, even though you already know all the stuff. It almost feels nice to have that reassurance and have somebody else tell you the stuff, even though you already know it.
I do agree with that. And I remember I had to like tell, because I work for the midwifery practice that we went with for Zeppelin's birth. Right. I had to tell everybody, I was like, please treat me like a mom. Right. I don't want to be treated like I'm a nurse.
Yeah, I remember you saying that.
Yeah, like I want you to treat me like I'm a mom, because it feels really different when it's like your own baby. Like I don't know, like I want to be explained things. I want to be able to make decisions on things. Like I don't want to just be, I don't want anybody to assume that I just have it all figured out. Right. And I also don't want to be in that type of brain. Right. I didn't want to be in my clinical brain. I wanted to be like a mom who was just enjoying a pregnancy that I fought so long for.
I mean, it's kind of the same for me right now. We're selling our house and we're using a realtor because I can't list our house. Yeah. Even though I've been doing real estate for almost 10 years. Yeah. And it's still like, I still like to hear the things that I already know. Yeah. Like the confirmation.
Well, because it's nice to just be a guy who's selling his house. Right. Not like a realtor.
I mean, it does help that I know all of the things. Yeah. But like, it's still like I still call our realtor, Brendan, and be like, hey, like, what are we doing here and here and here? Yes. Even though I kind of know it, but it's, he's facilitating the thing.
For sure.
So it does, like, that's what I'm saying. It does feel good to kind of have.
It almost takes like this like weight off your back too, that you don't have to be fully responsible.
Well, you're already stressed out enough. Like exactly. You're stressed out. You're carrying a baby. We're stressed out. We're selling our home. Yeah. It's like to have somebody who's kind of hand holding you and reassuring you.
Yeah, it's great.
Even though you already know the stuff.
Yeah.
It's nice.
No, I really appreciated it. And I mean, I will say, I found after, IVF and everything that we went through in those 2 years of like infertility, and also being a birth worker myself, and that I had experienced, moms that had, adverse outcomes in their pregnancies, in their births, in their postpartums. Like I had firsthand witnessed some of those things. And then also I did all of our chart review. So I was in every single chart of every patient that came through. Like I see everything. And so then too much. Right. And like ignorance is bliss is very real in this scenario. It's so hard when you know all the things that could possibly go wrong. And it's so hard for them to not just like circulate in your brain all the time.
that
was
was one of the
brutal.
worst things for you.
It was really
because
hard.
You overanalyzed because you knew too much.
I knew way too much, and I didn't want to.
Yeah.
Like, I really wanted to just like trust my body and
Mhm.
surrender to the whole process and trust my baby. And like,
Yeah.
I think that's why I enjoyed my birth so much, is because it felt like that was the moment that I was waiting to get to.
Mhm.
But I knew there were so many things that could prevent me from getting there,
Mhm.
that once I was in it, like, I was so excited because I was
Yeah.
like, I freaking did it. Like, we
Yeah.
are here.
Right.
This is freaking awesome.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
and then that was my mindset through my like whole labor. So like, I had a great time,
Mhm.
honestly.
Yeah.
I had a really great time.
No, you did. For me, the prenatal experience was very educational, and it was, you know, like it was nice because you knew all the things already, so you could further explain them to me
Yeah.
after we
On
had
the car
our
ride home.
meetings. Yeah, exactly. And I was like, what was she saying?
Yeah.
But like for you, I mean, how was the experience for you as somebody who knew all the things that were happening? How did you feel going into like the prenatal care, and then also just kind of handling the scariness of like different symptoms that you had
Like,
and all
knowing
that?
that there's no guarantee.
There's no guarantee, and we were fucking terrified the whole time.
Yeah.
I mean, we handled it well, but we
Yeah.
were also very scared because we were like, it took so long to get pregnant.
Well, and it didn't help that in the very beginning,
Mhm.
like before, and we've mentioned this in one of the episodes of Fertility Files, but I had what's called a subchorionic hematoma, and I found that out pretty early. So they keep you for, I don't remember how many weeks now, maybe like 8 weeks at the infertility clinic before they release you to your like OB.
Mhm.
Which I think I really freaked everyone out. And I'm like, no, my midwife.
Yeah.
Not going to an OB.
Yeah.
Like, nobody could possibly believe it, because you're coming from like one of the most medicalized clinical settings to being like, well, yeah, and then I'm going to go have like a Homebirth VBAC.
Yeah, it was automatically, they weren't like, are you going to a midwife or an OB? They're like, who's your OB?
Assuming that like,
yeah.
I'd probably take every intervention out there, you
Yeah.
know? Not that there's
They also
anything
were
wrong
kind of
with
like
that.
looking
But
at you like you're crazy, because they're like, there's like a part of them that's like, you're taking this risk.
Mhm.
You
For
know?
sure.
Yeah.
That's a very common thought.
When they want to keep you in the system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so I started bleeding like the first time, bright red, a ton of it, like into
Mhm.
the toilet, like more than like a first day bleed of a period. Like, it was crazy.
Yeah, I
And
remember.
I was like, oh my gosh, like, you were at work, yeah?
Mhm.
I remember Katie was over, and
Yeah, you called me
yeah,
terrified.
terrified.
And I thought it was over. I was like, oh, wow,
Same.
that didn't last very long.
I was convinced it was over. Yeah, I was like,
Mhm.
well, honestly though, I was just kind of like, yeah, makes sense. Like,
Mhm.
of course it's over.
Yeah.
Like, we're not supposed to like have a pregnancy.
Yeah.
What were we thinking?
Right.
But then I went in the next day, got blood work, and like everything was fine. Like, my HCG was fine, my progesterone was fine. And then I was okay. And then it happened again the second you drove away to the airport for your brother's bachelor party. You guys went to California, right?
San Diego.
Yeah. Literally, I like watched you guys out that window. I watched you guys drive away, walked down the hallway, and was like, what was that? And went to the bathroom, and I'm fucking bleeding.
Yeah, I was in the car on the way there.
Yeah.
And I was like, what happened?
Yeah. I was like, perfect. That's great.
Yeah.
And again, and everything was fine. And I got an ultrasound. They were like, well, I don't know. It's like, oh, okay, that's helpful. Thanks.
Yeah.
So that anxiety was very real. And it was hard to, like, I don't know, almost like enjoy the pregnancy because you're just convinced it's going to be taken away.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Once we got through that, I foo like the whole middle part of the pregnancy was pretty solid.
Yeah.
Like, I have generally pretty good pregnancies. Like, I feel good. All is well. But it's once I got into the later end of the pregnancy where it was really, really hard to not feel stressed about everything. I was so worried that I was going to go too far past my due date, that like, I don't even remember.
You were going to risk out.
I was going to risk out. Yeah. I don't even remember what all I thought I was going to risk out for. Cause I was
going too long.
Yeah.
That was mainly
the main thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I had like such a healthy pregnancy.
Because the whole time it was almost like you manifested it, because you were like, I just feel like I'm going to go long. For sure, I'm going to go long. And sure enough.
Well, it's hard because I never even had a single contraction with my first. You know what
So
I
you
mean? So
didn't
I
you
had
didn't
no
know,
idea.
right? You
Yeah,
didn't know what it even felt like to go
yeah.
into labor.
And so then I was like convinced too that I was like, what if my body doesn't know how? Like,
Yeah.
it's such a trip because I would never view birth that way in my like professional like space. I would never say that to a mom.
Right.
If she said that, I'd be like, that's ridiculous. You know what I mean? But when you're in it, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't like shake these like thoughts and feelings that I'm having.
No, I remember going to see the midwife. We went to see April, and we were
And I'm
in there, and you
spiraling.
were spiraling. I remember you were asking April to do certain things, and she was kind of looking at you like, Morgan, you know, this is like, you don't
Yeah,
need to
this
do
is
this right
dumb.
now.
Yeah.
But she like entertained it because she could tell that you were stressing the fuck out. But yeah, and then she was, I'll never forget when you were like, I just feel like, you know, like I'm going to go late and like, it's not going to, and she's like, Morgan, she's like 100% of babies come out.
Yeah.
And you were like, yeah, okay.
You're like, well, yeah, I do know that.
Yeah.
You right.
Yeah.
I just wanted like our birth so much. I felt that I like deserved it. I was like,
Yeah.
you're having a C-section that I didn't want the first time, and then infertility and IVF and everything that I like put my body through and my emotions and spiritual health through to get to this baby. Like,
it was the one thing you wanted to just
yeah,
go the way we planned it.
Yes. And I really needed it because I needed it to heal the parts of me that felt robbed of the experience of birth with my first baby because we didn't even get to have a contraction together. And then I also really wanted it to heal the pieces of me that felt that my body has failed me and that it doesn't know what to do and it can't do anything right.
Right.
Because that's how I felt chronically for 3 years. That like my body could just never do it right.
Yeah.
And I really, really needed this like redemptive birth experience.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense.
And I got it. I did. I got it.
Yeah. You sure did.
So let's tell her story then. And I don't know how you want to do this because I think there are probably things that I don't remember at all. And then there's maybe things that the perspective from you is different from mine. So I don't know. Do we like just chime off each other?
I mean, you want to start with UFC fights?
Yeah. Well, let's start from all the way at the beginning. I was 40 weeks and 4 days. And my water broke.
Yes.
At like 5 a.m.
Yeah. And we were very excited about that.
Yes and no. It was like super exciting because it's like, okay, something's coming, but I know better. And I was like, well, I'm not contracting though, and nothing's happening. And like, this could still be a really long time. And then, of course, immediately I'm like, what if I don't go into labor? Like, then I risk out. I have 48 hours with my water broken before I risk out. And then they're going to make me go to the hospital. And then I'm going to have to get an induction. Like, immediately, like, you were excited. Maybe I was for a few minutes. And then everything that I know then took over.
Yes, because I knew you were very stressed because you didn't want to risk out. And I knew how much it meant to you. But I also knew that there was part of you that was being a little bit manic because of the situation. And I was like, your water broke. I was like, yay, it's going to happen. Like, this is what's happening. It's going to happen. And I was trying to stay like in reality and not give too much attention to your
what ifs.
Yeah because you definitely, and it was valid. Like, I wasn't like being like, stop,
no,
you're
I
being
know
crazy.
No, but I was struggling.
But you were struggling. So yeah, that was exciting. But then you had me convinced because then like the water broke, but you weren't getting any contractions.
Yeah, nothing happened.
And then you did start getting small contractions about 24 hours later.
So my water broke at like 5 something in the morning. And I can't remember if it was that same day or the next morning at 9 something. The timeline confuses me a bit because she was born like 47 hours after my water broke.
It was the next day.
That morning?
Next morning.
That we went in for a... Yes, that's right.
We went to the birth center.
Yeah, we went in for an NST. Yeah. So I remember I slept on the couch that night because I was just kind of having a hard time sleeping. And I know better. Like, I tell everybody, like, you ignore labor until you cannot anymore.
Right.
Like labor will make itself known.
Mhm.
Like you will know when it's time,
Mhm.
But I did have a couple where I was like laying on the couch and they really like, I was like, whoa, that's definitely contractions. And then it's hard not to just like get kind of some adrenaline because I'm like, oh, I've never felt those before. Like that was kind of fun,
Right.
But I just remember sleeping on the couch and it took me a little bit to drift off, and then I did, and then I slept, woke up, and I was like, okay, there's nothing.
Yeah.
And then it was like 9-something in the morning of the next day. We went into the clinic to get an NST, which is a non-stress test, where they hook me and baby up and watch it for a while just to see how she was doing with the contractions. And to my surprise, I was actually having consistent contractions. They were just like small and I wasn't really feeling them, but they were totally patterned.
Yeah.
So I actually was in like early labor. I just had no idea.
Yeah. When I think you also like, again, because you hadn't had contractions prior with Holland, you didn't know what those actually felt like. I think you probably felt like they're going to be more intense.
Yeah. And I would get random ones that were really like tight. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that was definitely one. Right. But I couldn't really feel any of the other ones.
So we get past all that.
It felt good though. I was excited. I was like, okay, cool. But I knew, I was like, okay, well, we're already at 24 hours. It's like, she literally needs to be born by like 5 a.m. now. Like, and I'm not in labor. So now I'm feeling kind of stressed. I'm really worried because I knew that if I went to a hospital as a VBAC, I would have a really hard time getting a vaginal birth.
Right.
A C-section would really be pushed on me.
Yeah.
So I told Sarah at the NST, I was like, I think that I need to do something to try to like get things moving a little more. And I was kind of nervous because with a VBAC, there's risks to any sort of like induction method with a VBAC. So Sarah left and like called April, who's like the owner of the practice, and they like talked about it and came back, and like we all kind of like agreed, okay, why don't I go home and we'll gather the supplies to do the midwife's brew, which was like almond butter, apricot juice, castor oil. There was something else weird in there.
I can't remember, but
I don't remember either, and I'm not trying to tell anybody to go take it. But I mixed the concoction. I remember you took Holland somewhere. It was around like 1, I think, in the afternoon now at this point. I took it and I went and took a nap on the couch. And then I literally woke up and I was in active labor. Like, it was awesome.
I took Holland to the
splash pad or something.
No, the jumping place. What's the
Uptown Jungle? You did. Yeah. Okay.
And then I remember because you called and you were like, "Hey, like I'm getting contractions," and we came home.
Yeah, and then it was a fight night.
Yes.
UFC fights were on. See, and it's weird for me because this is where I'm like, it was only like 2 hours maybe, and then she was born. But I know that's not true at all.
No. So you were getting contractions, and you were like, you were making the cake.
Yep, I made her birthday cake.
She made a birthday cake, and she was adamant on getting this birthday cake done. So there was really nothing I could do. I mean, I kept asking if you needed anything or if I should fill up the tub, and you were like, "No, not yet." And you were like, "I'm going to just go bake this cake." And I was like, "Okay." So I'm sitting there watching the fights, and you're in the kitchen, baking the cake. Occasionally, like I would just hear this. I was like, "Are you good?" And I look in there, and you'd be hunched over on the countertop next to the cake, and you go, yeah, I'm good. I was like, maybe you should stop baking the cake. No, I'm almost done. I'm just gonna finish it. And you baked the whole cake.
I did, and I remember I would have just enough time in between contractions to put one single ingredient in.
Yeah.
Like by the time I scooped and measured and did all that and put it in, here came another one, and then I'd lean on the counter. I barely know that, but
turned out delicious. Yeah. You did have a piece.
We did. Yeah, we have picture proof. I don't think I really ate much of it though. I wasn't feeling too hot.
But yeah, and then kind of just you went in and out of those big contractions for a while, and they were spaced out.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
I remember there's one very vivid part of like my labor, the cake for sure. And then I had a moment where once I finished the cake and I got it in like the oven, I think I walked into the like dining room and I had one and I was like leaning on the back of the chair and I was listening to my birth playlist.
Mm-hmm.
And what's the song? This is gonna sound so lame. It was like a really popular song on TikTok during COVID.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just not sharp at night. I can't
Mm-mm.
think of the name of it. Anyway, it came on. What's Whenever You're Ready. It goes like that. Like whenever you're ready, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, it was playing,
Okay.
and I just had a moment, and I just started like crying, but I was smiling like
Mm-hmm.
ear to ear. Like I was just feeling everything in the best way. Like I was so happy.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just this moment of like, all right, we're here.
It's
I was like,
happening.
you
Yeah.
can't deny this anymore. Like I think I was just like focused on the cake. But
Mhm.
once that task was done, then I was like, well, I got it all done. Like
Yeah.
it's done. And now the next step is meeting our baby.
Mm-hmm.
And like I'm having a great time, and this is so awesome. Let's fucking go.
Yeah,
Like I just felt so much gratitude and happiness, and I was almost like, of course I wanted her to be born at home, but I was almost just like, that's all that I wanted. I was
Right.
like, I just wanted the experience of the contractions
Mhm.
and feeling that like deep connection to my baby.
Mhm.
And I know you, like you said, you kept asking like if I needed help or like any of the like tools that like our doula taught you. And I was like, genuinely, no. I was like, I wanted it to be just me and Zeppelin.
Mhm.
And I got it. And it was so like, I was just so happy to be in that space
Yeah, for sure.
that I was like, if that's all I get out of this whole experience,
Yes.
I'm happy,
Yeah.
you know?
And then,
I think shortly after I was like, I wanted to call Regina though.
yes. So we called Regina, and because I just kept asking you, let me know when you want me to call her. Let me know.
Yeah.
And I did call Regina even
Did you
before.
put Holland to bed?
No, Holland was at the neighbors.
Okay, but like, when did she go to bed?
He went to bed later on.
You like got her ready and put her to bed?
Yes.
What was I doing?
Contracting
Where?
downstairs.
Yeah.
On the couch with Regina.
Oh, Regina was
Yeah,
there.
Regina was there. So we called.
Okay.
Finally, the contractions got close enough together, and Regina was like, "Okay, I'm gonna head over in like an hour."
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so she ends up getting there. She kind of took over because I was kind of sitting with you on the couch, and we were just breathing through the contractions.
See, I don't even remember that.
And then I took Holland. No, I took Holland to get ice cream.
Really?
Yes.
You did?
Yes. We went to the gas station. I let her pick a gas station ice cream out,
What?
which we would not do now.
Yeah.
But yeah.
For real?
Yes. And then I came back. I got us food, actually. I think we went to Chipotle. Yes. We went, Holland and I went and got food.
Yeah.
Chipotle. And
Did
then
I
on the way
eat?
back, I let her get a gas station ice cream.
Yeah.
You did
Special.
not eat.
Yeah.
And then we ate at Chipotle, so we didn't bring the food back.
Dang, you guys were gone for a while.
We were gone for about 45 minutes to an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then,
Funny.
yeah, she ate. She got her ice cream. We got home. I got her ready for bed, put her to sleep.
Yeah.
Came back down, and you were having pretty heavy contractions on the couch with Regina, and
Did
I could tell
Holland-
like you were.
Did Holland come like say hi to me or anything, like, and good night?
Yes.
Or did you just like take her straight up?
She came and said goodnight, like briefly.
Okay.
Didn't like hug you or anything. Just was like, okay, good night.
Because it's so weird. I like don't remember any of
Mhm.
that. It's weird how when you like get into labor land, there could be so many things going on around you, and you like just have no
You
idea.
were in your own world.
Yeah, you're
for
just
sure.
so locked in.
Yeah. And then you were kind of getting like, over the contractions, like
This part I remember.
You were ready for it to happen.
I remember this part really well.
Yeah, and you were on the couch, and then
she was having me get into different positions, and we had the peanut ball, and we were doing that, and I just kept like, I don't know, I'd like to consider myself tough, that I was like, if Regina, like I trust her, I was like, if she thinks that I need to be in this position for this contraction, like I'll do it, you know. And I just kept like going through them, but I was like, I don't really like this. Like
I could tell you didn't.
Yeah, I was like, this isn't really like feeling right.
No.
You know, like my body was telling me like I needed something different.
No.
And what's funny about it is she kept saying, you know, like asking me certain questions, like probing questions. And I could tell, I don't remember if she ever directly said it. She probably didn't, you know, but I know Regina very well. That I could tell that she was trying to get a feel of how far along I was. and she was feeling like Zeppelin was still pretty high, and that she was trying to help like get her lower so that things could like move along.
Right.
But I think I was a lot farther than anybody thought that I was. I was just managing really well.
Yeah.
That
Definitely.
like, because I was getting to the point where they just weren't stopping, and they were just really intense, and just like it felt like they wanted to do work, but I wasn't in the right position, and I wasn't in the right like space to let them do the work they needed to do.
Yeah, you were uncomfortable,
but not like in pain. I was just,
but you were just over, like you didn't want to be in that spot anymore.
Yeah, it felt like it was this like contention between like what my body and was telling me I needed to be doing.
It's like you had lost the flow of like what you were doing.
Like it was almost like we were trying to like manage it and help it, but my body was kind of like, no, like we got this, we're okay, you know? Yeah. And it brought me into it because I remember it very well. I don't remember anything else. It brought my head into it too much, and I needed my head out of it.
Right.
Like I needed to go back into my body.
About the positions more than you were just letting your body kind of do its thing.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden I was kind of in my head about where she was in my pelvis. And then you start getting that like, man, what if I'm like a really long way away? And like I'm doing okay, but the second like you get in your head and you're like, how much longer do I actually have?
Well, and then I remember you asking, like, is it too early to get into the tub? And I was like, just get into the tub.
Yeah.
And you were like, okay, I'm just gonna get in. Then you got into the birth tub.
I was hesitant because I know like if you're not like at a certain point in labor, getting into water like that can stall your labor. And that was the last thing I wanted. Like I didn't want to have this 40-hour labor. And it sounds silly, but I was worried about my birth team.
Yeah.
Like I didn't want Regina to be there forever with me.
Right.
I didn't want the midwives to come too early and have this forever birth. It's like you almost feel like you like owe them, like to show to them that you know better.
Yeah. But then you got in the water.
Yeah.
And immediately like full on labor.
Well, I was in full on labor, honey.
But like ready, pushing labor.
Pushing.
Yes.
Yeah. Like all of a sudden, I think I had like 2 or 3 contractions. And then very strongly, I felt like Sarah needs to be here. But I didn't say anything yet because I was like, that's too early. I was like, I'm jumping the gun. I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait it out. I'm not going to say anything out loud. I'm going to wait it out. Next contraction, my body starts pushing. And I was like, whoa, I like can't fight that. And then I was like, I'm just going to let it happen. And it's almost like you feel tight. And then also I was just like, I'm just going to let it happen. And I just relaxed everything. And my body literally just like that, like literally just started pushing. And I was like, okay, that was really cool.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I think I could say it.
You were questioning. I remember I told Regina, because she came up and asked me, she was like, should I have Sarah come? And I was like, yeah.
Well, yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Like I could tell because you're the pitch and the noises of your contractions were much deeper.
Yes, they get more like guttural.
Right.
Yeah, more like primal, more deep.
Yes. Yeah. And then once you're in the tub,
literally every contraction, my body was pushing.
Was it an hour after being in the tub?
I think it was 2.
Yeah, it was quick.
Because I actually pushed for quite a long time. I pushed for an hour, and it does not feel like that in my head at all. Like
I feel like it was less than 2 hours.
That I was in the tub. I have it all written down in like a notes page in my phone.
Yeah.
But yeah, the birth team then got there like maybe 30 minutes before she was born, which I'm like, crushed it. Yes.
Yep. Photographer got there.
Yeah.
Birth assistant got there.
Yep.
And then Sarah was there.
Yeah. And so at this point, were you like by the tub like pretty much the whole time? Yeah. I know Regina was there. And then I know like on the couch straight like across my eyes was our midwife, the birth assistant, and then like the photographer was going around and stuff. But I love it because this is one of my favorite things to witness at births is like the lights are dim, mom's like working, and the midwife and birth assistant are just sitting on the couch and they're like completely relaxed and peaceful. And they're just like charting and whatever. Like everything is so peaceful. Nobody's in my business. Chill. Nobody's like,
yeah, we had your music on, like the playlist was on.
The like lights were on, like, and I was just doing my thing and it was freaking awesome.
It was awesome.
And then I remember I had a couple contractions. My body is pushing every time. And I just knew everything I needed to do. I did not need a single person to come over and tell me what to do. I didn't want it. Like, I knew what position I needed to be in, how I needed to move my body, like how I needed to move my hips. Like everything just felt so natural and primal. And then there was a point where I knew, I was like, I could feel where she is. I should check. So I like reached in, and I maybe like just past my first like knuckle, I could feel her head. And I was like,
I remember,
no way. Like I feel her head.
You were like, do you want to feel her head? And I was like, sure.
Yeah. Did you reach in to feel her head? Or was that when she was like farther
Like
out?
she was just
like
barely,
really close.
Barely coming out. Yeah.
Yeah. So this was early. I don't think I told anybody.
Yeah.
Maybe I told Regina.
I think you did.
But like I felt her head. So I at least knew. I was like, okay, like cool. Because we've had times where moms are in the tub, they're pushing, and you think that you're like close. And then an hour goes by and nothing happens. And then we do a cervical check and there are 4. I've been at 2 worse like that.
Really?
Yeah. And again, ignorance is bliss, but you can't help but have it in your head where you're like, I'm either about to give birth or I have like 14 more hours.
Yeah.
But yeah, I felt her head and I was like, okay, heck yeah.
Yeah.
And then it took a while to kind of like move her down, but like I was in no rush. I don't know. It was just so like peaceful. I was so in it.
It was.
And then I could tell that she was getting really close. And I think that's when I told you to get Holland.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yep.
So you woke her up and brought her down because that was something that we had talked about with her a lot. She had watched a lot of like births on YouTube and like really wanted to like be a part of it, you know?
Yeah, she did.
And so you went and woke her up and brought her down. And then I just remember her head coming out because like I could tell she was getting close. And then I realized I was like, I think I need to start kind of like pushing with it a little more. So I started kind of doing that. And then I could really feel her like move down. It was really cool. Like every control, I could literally feel her head move down. And then when it would stop, I could feel her kind of come back up. And I've been to so many births where I've heard the midwife say like, it's a good thing because they're like massaging the tissue and slowly stretching everything instead of just like shooting out.
Right.
So I was like, heck yeah, like she knows what to do. I know, like it was just so, like I said, it was everything I needed to be like, my body's not broken. My baby knows what to do. Like it's going to make me cry because this is like the coolest part of the whole birth. It was just such a like, okay, we got this. This is so cool.
Yeah.
Like we're so close.
Yeah.
And then I remember her head coming out and I was like, whoa, like, okay, her head's out. From the conception of our species, women have been nourished by wild foods, medicinal plants, and the entire animal nose to tail. And that's exactly what Birthright brings back to life. These supplements are made from real food ingredients like grass-fed liver, bone marrow, and fish eggs, paired with powerful herbs that support every stage of womanhood. I'm currently taking Revive to prepare my body for conception after going through infertility and IVF. Truly never felt so aligned with a supplement. It's not synthetic or filler packed, it's ancestral nutrition in a capsule form. Whether you're rebuilding your health before pregnancy or searching for a prenatal you can trust, Birthright offers a collection of whole food blends designed to honor your hormones, fertility, and vitality, the way that nature intended it. Reclaim your health through nourishment that's wild, wise, and time-tested. Use code LONEWOLF for 15% off at birthright.co. That's LONE, WOLFE, for 15% off your first order at Birthright Supplements. Because optimal health, fertility, and wholeness is your birthright. And like the midwife was still sitting over on the couch. Like, wasn't Sarah still sitting on the couch?
Yeah. Well, she came over.
And then they came over. But
she was like, Jordan, do you want to catch the baby? And I was like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
And so I get like set up, I think kind of behind you.
You were behind me. I was on my hands and knees in the tub.
And then she popped out and I was like waiting to catch her and you were like, shoot.
Yeah, I reached right in. I was like, nope, that's mine.
But I remember you tried pulling her up, but the cord was short.
It was really short. And then I got a really bad leg cramp.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if you remember that, but I was like, oh my God, my leg. Like, and it sucked because you want to be in the moment and you're so excited, but like you literally can't like sit. My leg was cramping so bad.
She popped out of the water.
Yeah.
She was so cute.
And Holland was sitting there like on Regina's lap, like.
I know.
And it was funny because I don't remember you guys going to food. I don't remember you putting her to bed. I don't remember any of that. But I had this moment where like, I saw her, I think I said like, happy birthday, or I'm so happy to meet you, or I said something like that. And then all of a sudden my brain instantly went like, I have 2 babies. And I looked at Holland and I was like, wow, can you believe, like, all of a sudden I was so aware that she was there and that I needed to pay attention to her and I needed to like include her. And like, yeah, it was funny. Like, once I did what I needed to do, instantly I was like back into like, I have a child to take care of.
Right.
I'm gonna do it. You know, she got into the water with us, and got to like see Zeppelin and stuff.
Yep, she got in for a minute.
We got some really, really pretty like pictures.
Really good pictures, yeah.
And then I'm not gonna lie, this is the part where it starts to make my head spin a little bit, and I don't really love thinking about it. I think my feet are kind of sweating.
Yeah, it was intense.
Yeah, and this is where it changes.
So yeah, so you got out of the tub. They cut the cord, clamped the cord, and they had you sitting on the couch. And I remember just saying to you, like, hey, you were like, hey, maybe you should take Holland upstairs and put her back to bed. And I was like, okay, I'm going to go do that. So I go up and I'm putting Holland back to bed, and like she's laying in our bed.
Yeah.
She's laying there, and then she's just about to sleep.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
And then the birth assistant comes in and goes, hey, Jordan, I need you to come downstairs real quick. The placenta is not coming out and she's bleeding quite a bit. And I was like, what? And I was like, okay. And so I come downstairs.
And you like carried Holland down?
No.
You left her?
Holland followed me down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I know she was downstairs.
Yes. So Holland followed me down. She sat with Regina. And then I went into the bathroom because they had you sitting on the toilet. So I tried to help gravity take it down.
Yeah.
And I looked at you and you were just ghost white.
Yeah.
And there was so much blood in the toilet and on the floor. And I was like, and Sarah came, she's like, hey, she's just like bleeding a lot. The placenta's not coming out. She's like, I think we're probably going to call the ambulance. I was like, yeah, call the fucking ambulance like now.
Yeah.
And they're like, she's like, okay, I'll call right now. And then they called. And I remember looking at you and you were like, kind of like fucking out of it. And I was like, are you okay? And you're like, yeah, I'm just a little dizzy. And I was like,
really? I don't remember talking to you.
And
That's
then
funny.
we get you up off the toilet and then bring you out.
Well, Zeppelin, I was nursing her.
Yeah.
She was latched on. Like I was literally holding her, nursing her.
Yeah, and then we had to pull Zeppelin off, laid you down on the stairs right there with a pillow and a blanket.
Well, I almost went down. Yeah. And our bathroom is like, the downstairs bathroom, like the door opens in and almost touches the wall.
Yes.
And then the toilet's behind that. So and then there's a big sink with like hard porcelain corners. Like that's the bathroom, you know?
So it got scary real quick.
Yeah. Well, and I stood up and I was like, uh-oh, I'm going down. Yeah. Like I instantly knew it.
And I remember we grabbed
and I fell.
And grabbed you.
Yeah. And she grabbed me and then like tried to keep me up. But then I came right back to it. Like I never fully lost consciousness at a single point, like which is wild.
And then they give me the brand new baby.
I know.
I'm sitting there. She's all swaddled up and staring at her. And I look over at you and I'm like, this isn't good. Yeah. And I had this moment where I'm like, great, she's going to bleed out and die. And I have this baby. And I'm like, this is not what we planned. No. It was terrifying. Yeah. And Holland's over there and they have her turned the other way. But which was so smart.
I know. She was watching in the reflection.
Yeah. But they were just
Regina was really paying attention to that
and like
really
reading her a book or something like that. Yeah. And then the fire department gets there and it's, you know, just like your stereotypical firefighters. Literally every single one of them looked like they were on juice.
Oh yeah.
And they walk in.
The paramedic was definitely on juice.
All of them were.
But him specifically was massive. Yeah. Because I remember just sitting there and I was like looking at everything, trying to keep myself alive in the ambulance. And then I looked at his arm and I was like, whoa, that thing is a tree trunk.
Yeah. And so finally they get you on the gurney, they get you out, they get you, and they're like, they come in and they're like, hey, we're going to take her to the hospital. And so I'm like, okay. So then they get you in the ambulance. Sarah rides with you. And then you can fill them in from there because that's...
I know. Now we both have a different story to tell, huh? Because you have your story at home and I have mine at the hospital.
I mean, just to finish mine, I guess.
Yeah, finish yours.
So me and the new child.
Yeah. She was an hour old.
Zeppelina. Yeah. Was an hour old and she wanted a boob, but we didn't have any milk. And so I'm upstairs and we're just laying skin to skin and Holland's in the bed with us too. And the midwives are running around the birth assistants are trying to coordinate getting some colostrum. Yeah.
Which is the first milk.
Yes. And so they're like, okay, there's another mom that has some not too far from here. We're going to go pick it up.
Summerlin, actually. Pretty far.
Oh, it was far.
Yes,
That's
it's from Summerlin. I know the mom.
Yes. So anyways, they go to Summerlin, bring the milk back.
The birth photographer went to Summerlin.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Bring it back.
Which I just want to say, all of this like is testament to how amazing like your birth team is.
Oh yeah, they were awesome.
Like
nobody left. Everybody cleaned up downstairs for us.
Yeah.
Like there wasn't any dishes. There wasn't anything like that. They cleaned up
they're
everything.
Amazing.
They folded all the towels, put stuff in the laundry.
Yep. And like cleaned up an absolute bloody massacre.
Yeah.
I mean, you have no idea how much, because you missed a lot of it. Like,
I saw the blood on the floor. There's a lot.
But it was on the couch and it was on the floor and it was a ton in the tub and like it was down the hallway and it was on the walls in the bathroom. Like it was literally a massacre.
So while I was sitting up there with the brand new baby, they cleaned up all that stuff and then they got the colostrum. They brought like a little syringe to feed it to her.
Mm-hmm.
So we got that going and she was doing pretty good.
Yeah.
And she was just hanging out.
Yeah.
For the most part, she was pretty chill.
Yeah.
We did the weight check. We did all of that.
So there was another midwife there. It's just a licensing thing in the state of Nevada. So a CNM was there because of our insurance that we have. That's the reason why we had two midwives. Mm-hmm. She wasn't there at the actual birth. She got there after Zeb was born.
Yes.
But what was kind of nice about that is then our primary midwife, Sarah, went with me to the hospital, but there was still another midwife at the house, plus the birth assistant, plus the doula, plus the birth photographer. Right. So you definitely had a good team around you to like...
Yeah, and nobody left until like I felt comfortable.
Yeah, everybody knew that everything was okay.
So so then everyone ends up leaving and I get comfortable with the baby in the bed, and it's me and Holland, and then I'm just waiting to hear from Sarah. Sarah finally calls and she's kind of like, hey, like she's fine, but like, it got really crazy. I'll let her tell you the story about you. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh shit. And like, I had no idea at that point how bad it actually was.
Yeah.
But she told me that you were okay.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well thank God.
I'm sure she led with that.
Yes. Yeah. But then she told me like, it was scary and very, very traumatic.
Yeah.
And then you can go into
how long was it from when she called you to when you finally heard from me?
It was probably 2 hours.
Really?
Yeah.
Was it that long?
I think so.
Are you okay?
No. I wasn't okay.
Babe, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, at least you knew that I was fine, but like that's terrifying because you don't know what fine means.
She might have texted somebody in between there and been like, we're at the hospital now, but didn't give any details.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she was literally standing right next to me, and I don't know how long I was in the ER in that room. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have no concept of time. I mean, I have no idea how long it was, and then I got moved to, I think it was labor and delivery, technically, the room that I got moved to. I don't think, it was a long time because she was born like just before midnight, right? And then
I didn't come to the hospital until like 5 a.m.
I wasn't in the room like stable until 4 something in the morning. Yeah, so I mean,
you called me around like 4:45.
Well, that's kind of scary thinking of it that way.
Yeah.
I don't know how long they were like working on me.
It was a long time.
Jeez. Alrighty. Okay, well, my perspective.
Yeah. So they take you out into the ambulance.
Yep. And I just remember I'm in the ambulance and the guys are all kind of talking. They're like trying to get me an IV. And I just remember hearing Sarah being like, guys, we need to go. Like turn the sirens on. We need lights and sirens and let's go. Because they don't always transport with lights and sirens on. She's like, we need to get the fuck out of here. And that's where I was kind of like, whoa, like I have attended the most births with Sarah in our practice, like of all our midwives. And I know her very well and I know her style. She is the most calm, cool, collected, peaceful person. But like if there's something wrong, you will hear it in her tone. And I could tell that it was like, oh fuck. Like Sarah said, we need to go. We should probably really fucking go. I trust her.
Yeah.
And then finally they're like, okay. And they like moved it along. I think they just didn't comprehend how much blood loss I had already had
Right.
and how much I was still having. Like, I remember laying on the floor before they put me in the gurney. I kept thinking that I had delivered the placenta because so much volume would come out. I literally was like, I would have a moment of relief because like, oh, that was the placenta.
Yeah.
It wasn't. And so then I just remember being in the ambulance and looking at everything. I just had this moment. It's weird because it didn't feel like I was like close to death. I knew clinically, because of my clinical knowledge, that I had lost a lot of blood and that my pressures were probably not great, and that like you can definitely be hypovolemic and like it could kill me. Like I knew that, but I just kind of like vowed it in my head, not in any profound way, but I was just like, yeah, but I'm not going to do that today. Like,
Yeah.
and you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make sure that I don't lose consciousness. I had decided that like that's the one thing that I maybe could have control over in this. And I think that if I do lose consciousness, it might be really hard to come back from it.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel it scare. It's so weird. Like I don't know if anybody listening has ever had a near death situation before. You have no idea what it's going to be like till you're in it. I was never like scared or like felt the levity of it, but I knew. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But I had just decided like I'm going to stay awake. That's the one thing that I'm going to focus on the most in this whole thing. And so I was like, well, how do I do that? I'm going to start listening really well, and I'm going to start looking because those are my senses. And if I know that those senses are intact, then I know I'm still here.
Yeah.
So I just started looking at the ceiling. I looked at the lights. I looked at like the guy's tree trunk arm. I looked at what medications were on the thing, and I just kept doing that until we got there. And then some of it is very fuzzy for sure.
Yeah.
And then I remember getting off the ambulance, and all of a sudden, like you kind of feel the cool air. Well, it was really hot, but like you feel the difference in the air. And I'm like, okay, that's a sense. Like I'm sensing that I can feel the change. It's dark and now there's different lights outside. And they wheeled me right in, and all of a sudden just everybody was swarming the bed. And I'm like, all right, well, I've been in clinicals before. That's not good. Like if everybody is standing there at the door waiting for me, like a team of 15 people, it's probably not good.
Well, I think at that point your vitals were not good.
No, they were really, really bad. Yeah. And so they like wheeled me into the room and closed the curtain. And I'm like, well, that's probably not good either. And then they immediately call a code. And I'm like, that's not great. Like, I just know too much, you know, and I'm listening. And then I hear everything that they're saying. I hear my pressures being rattled off. I hear the blood loss. Hear the doctor was actually really, really panicky. And it didn't make me feel panicky, but I picked up on it. And it made me just even more be like, okay, stay awake. Like, stay the fuck awake. And I just heard her being like, we need to get this placenta out right now. We don't have any time left to lose. What do we do? They're going off with other nurses. They're like, do we do a hysterectomy? Do we take her back for surgery? Do we like whatever? And they're like, she's not stable. That's literally not an option. And they're like, we cannot take her to surgery. We either get it out now or that's the only option. And I'm like, okay, got it. And then they're coming in and they're trying to get an IV on my arm. And what's funny is Sarah could probably confirm this, but I was like humorous. I guess that's just my like
fucking delirious.
Yeah, no, I don't know. It's just like, I don't know. But like they kept trying to get an IV. They were having a hard time. They had another girl come in, probably from another floor. They probably pulled her. She comes over and she gets it. And I remember, I probably sounded like I was drunk. I remember just being like, you go, girl. That's what I said to her. I remember that because I was like, she got it, guys. Like, get out of the way, you know? And then they were just hanging bags of blood and like doing like rapid transfusions. And then I remember there were two guys to my right, and they go something like, man, pretty crazy. Something about how like I'm not awake or I have no idea. And I heard it all because, again, I'm very acute of my senses, like aware of my senses at this point. And I like look over at them and I'm like, no, I'm awake. And I remember them both just being like, oh, shit. Like, oh my God, I didn't know that she was still with us.
Yeah.
And then I heard somebody commenting on like that I had nice tattoos.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, yeah, but like time and place, guys, time and place, you know? But I almost appreciated it because it kind of felt like, oh, well, at least they're not like, oh my God, she's going to die. At least they're like, oh, she has good tattoos.
Right.
I'm like, okay, well, he's not freaked out. Can we like vibe off his energy a little more? And then they started doing the manual removal part, which was honestly okay because I had no feeling in my body. I was barely there. Like I knew I could hear things and I could see things, but I really couldn't feel anything. But I remember they started, and I remember, you know, at least I said it in my head. Who knows if I said it out loud, but I was like, please just remember, like, I just had an unmedicated birth. Like, I am not on an epidural. I have no pain medication. Like, please be nice to me. Something like that, you know, and she did multiple attempts. It wasn't happening. Then I could hear the panic really turned up in the room. People are just flying around, like, people coming in and out and stuff. She was a pretty short, like, petite doctor. And then they brought in a man, and I think he introduced himself to me, but I'm like, what? You know? And then he goes to try to do the removal, and all of a sudden it's like, I just remember like flying off the table. And I was like, whoa, that really doesn't feel good. And I probably screamed or moaned, I don't know, whatever I had the energy to do. And then they were like, oh, fuck, like she's in pain. So let's give her fentanyl. So they IV pushed me fentanyl, but they didn't tell me, they didn't warn me, they didn't ask consent, nothing. And that was the only time that I felt fucking fearful because all of a sudden my whole body just feels like cement is moving through it. And then it feels like there is a school bus on top of my body and I can't breathe. And I remember then all of a sudden I looked at Sarah and I was like, I can't breathe. I was like, I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. Like I was like panicking because I didn't know what was happening. I thought that I was losing it. I was like, I'm losing control. I'm going to die. Like my body is die. Like this is what it feels like to die. And she's like, looking at my stuff, she's like, no, like your O2's okay, like it's okay. She's like, I think it's the fentanyl. And then one of the nurses, this big, not to be crude, but like this big fat lady next to me goes like, oh yeah, that's just the fentanyl. It's like being drunk.
You're like, this is not like being drunk.
I was like, ma'am, I've been drunk plenty of times before. This is not what that feels like. Fuck you. And then I think they put a mask on me and like some oxygen, and I started to kind of like calm down and stuff. And then I think I was like asking Sarah, and I think the female doctor heard me, and then she held up the container, and there were fragments of a placenta in it. And then I was really relieved because I was like, okay, like we're doing it.
Out.
It's out. But then he tells me like we didn't get it all, and there's still a small piece. So he had to do, I think, like 4 or 5 more attempts. And this guy's probably your size. He was like 6'1", 6'2", probably 180, 200 pounds, you know, like full forearm inside of my body with no medication. But it was almost what I needed because the pain really like brought me back into my body. And I didn't feel as like floaty as I was feeling.
Yeah, it kept you present.
Yeah, it made me present. It was almost a relief to feel something, you know, because I was like, okay, I think I'm gonna pull through.
Right.
And they get it all out, and then I start to stabilize actually pretty quickly. Once it was out, like my bleeding is pretty much stopped. They put a J tube, I think it's called, some sort of device inside of my uterus that would then put pressure on all the like arteries to stop the bleeding from the inside out. And then it had a vacuum to like remove the blood, and then it would go into a container so you could track like my blood loss precisely. But it was really uncomfortable having that thing in there. Like,
so how much blood did you lose?
I don't know.
It was a lot.
It was a lot.
How many bags did they give you?
I had 6 liters of blood. So an entire human, another human.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I had a full entire blood transfusion.
Yeah.
Yeah, like my entire body's worth. A rapid transfusion.
Yeah.
Like in a matter of like minutes.
They got you stable.
Yeah. And then it's funny because again, I was like humorous. I literally like it all kind of settled down. The doctor came in, he was a total fucking dick. and just said something like, everything's okay right now, but, that could change. And, if you bleed again or we're unhappy with whatever, then, we would have to take you in for a full hysterectomy and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, sir, I'm 20. What was I? I was 27 years old. I was like, you're not going to sit here after I just fought for my fucking life and then tell me that you're going to take out my uterus and not let me have children again.
No.
Like, fuck off.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you did your job. Get the fuck out. Like, it's just that like bedside manner where they has to have that like power trip thing. I don't know. I was like not in the mood for it. Yeah. And then I remember the one nurse stayed and she was really cool. Stayed in the room and the room's now really quiet and I'm kind of coming to. And I just remember like kind of laughing with Sarah and making some jokes. I had her take we took a selfie together. Yeah. Like, I was like, well, we survived that one, huh? Like, let's take a pic. Yeah. And I like looked at Sarah and I was like, Sarah, I'm hungry. I was like, I really want In-N-Out. Like, I'm so hungry. Yeah. And they were like, what the fuck? And the lady was like, well, we can't let you eat, but I'll get you some ice chips. I was like, I love you so much. And she like brought me a cup of ice chips. Because your mouth's just like
dry. Yeah.
Oh my God, it was terrible.
And I think that was when you called me.
Well, no. So then, no, I didn't have my phone or anything in that.
Sarah called
They
me.
had to wait. Sarah probably stepped out and then called you. Yeah. I think she told me. She's like, I'm going to step out and call Jordan. And that's when I was like, oh, please, like, go do that. Like, once I like kind of came to and remembered that I like have a baby and a family at home, you know? And then I got moved to postpartum and Regina was there. She switched off. So Sarah came to you and Regina came to me. And we were sitting in the room. It was really dark. And she was just like talking about everything with me. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I was just sitting there like every time we would like even mention it, I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to go out. I was like, I can't talk about it, you know? And then the doctor came in and she sat down and she looked rough. Yeah. Like rough. I will never forget her face. And she just sat there in the corner and it was like dark in the room and she was just shaking her head. It took her a minute to talk. And I was kind of like, are you okay? And she was just like, I have to tell you, she's like, that was one of the hardest, scariest removals I've ever had. And we are really, really lucky that it went that way. She's like, otherwise this would have had a really different outcome. And Regina was sitting there and she was like, oh shit. Yeah. Like, I think that's when her and I both, and I was still just kind of like, okay, you know, like, I don't know. So traumatized. But Regina was like, oh, wow, I think that was really bad then. Like, you could tell in the doctor's face. Yeah. And then she left. And then that's when I was like, I'm going to call you. But I realized I was talking with Regina and I was like, fuck, I don't think Jordan has any idea, like, what just happened or how bad that was.
No. I was trying to soothe the brand new baby. And give her a colostrum.
What was it like when I called you? Did I like cry or was I like...
No, you were like, well, first you were like, how's Zeppelin and like, what's going on? And, and I was like, oh, and I was like, what? I was like, what happened? Sarah was telling me, and then that's when you told me the whole story. And I was like, what? Yeah. The fuck? Yeah. I mean, I had fears because they rushed you off in the hospital. But last time I saw you, you were pale white and looked like you were dying. Yeah. And you were. But then you told me the story and I was like, that's crazy. Yeah. And then the issue of trying to get to the hospital.
Holland was still awake, right?
Everyone was awake. Yeah. No one was sleeping. Zeppelin wasn't sleeping.
I know.
So she got to ride in her brand new car seat.
Oh gosh. Power to you, babe.
And I think the doors opened for the hospital at like 5:30.
No, it was like 5:30 in the morning. Well, and because we were trying to figure out like where was Holland going to go? What were you guys going to do? Who was going to switch off Regina? Because nobody wanted to like leave me alone, you know? So I think Regina ended up staying with me, right? Until you got there. Yeah, she ended up sneaking me. She went to like one of the like fridges and snuck me food because they like don't want you to eat for 24 hours or something stupid. But I was like, I've been in labor like for 2 days and
you're hungry.
I'm fucking hungry. But then I ate like a graham cracker and then I felt like I was going to pass out. And I was like, actually, maybe I don't want to eat anything. But so yeah, you guys then.
Yeah, we got in there.
We just decided, we were like, why don't you guys just come here?
Yeah.
Like,
I made Holland a little bed on the couch. I slept on the couch.
Out. Yeah, we all passed out. You fell asleep. Yeah. And the coolest part was that you know, all of this was very scary, of course, and I'm definitely traumatized by it. I think you are too. Like, it was really scary, but I had a really amazing birth, and I think that birth, the high from that birth, like, honestly is what saved my life.
Yeah, it was terrifying, but also, yes, I agree with that. I think that it was the lead up to it and everything. It was exactly what you wanted, obviously, until it went sideways. I think that absolutely had an effect on how, like, your will to, like, get through it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I couldn't imagine if I would have had, this terrible birth and it was nothing that I wanted and I felt completely like
Defeated.
Powerless, and defeated in it, and then went into that situation. I have no idea if I would have like held on the way that I did.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to think about. But what was really cool is I felt really good that I had protected our baby from being a patient in the hospital.
Yes.
It was kind of like, take me.
Right.
Please don't take her.
Right. Like
situation.
You were like, I'm okay with transferring.
Yeah. I was like, I will do whatever.
As long as she doesn't have to transfer.
Exactly. I was like, I'll do whatever I need to do over there. But like, my baby is not going to be a product of that system. Yeah. And what was really cool is she didn't get admitted as a patient. So she got to come and stay with me the whole time, just like right on me, and was not a patient of the hospital, though. Only I was. Yeah. And then we got really lucky. We had a really awesome doctor at the end there. And she was just kind of like, you know what? You are healthy. You're stabilizing really well. Everything looks great. Like, I had to get sewn up, which fucking sucked, and it was rough down there. They had to take out my like tube and all that stuff. But then she was like, she had to go do a C-section. But I think it was like if I could pee twice and eat something or something like that. She's like, I'll come back. And she's like, hospitals are for sick people and you're not sick. She's like, let's get you home with your family. And I mean, Holland's sitting there with her hair a mess, just like on the couch. They could tell we weren't well. Yeah. And I was like, please, thank you. Like,
we didn't have to spend a lot of time there, which was nice.
No, I was discharged in less than 24 hours after a life-threatening hemorrhage. Yeah, which was awesome.
It was like 12 hours.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally, because I got moved to that room at 4 something. We got out around like 4. Yeah, 4 or 5 p.m. Yeah, but then that's all a whirlwind, and I just want to touch on it because I think this is really, really important. My postpartum emergency was not a product of having a home birth.
No.
It had nothing to do with where I gave birth. It had nothing to do with the care providers that I chose. If anything, like I said, I really believe that the birth that I got at home is what saved my life. And I can imagine doing that without the birth team that we had, who paid attention to every single little detail, how you were doing, what our baby needed, what our oldest needed, like what our house needed. Like, they did everything. Like, I could not imagine not having that support to hold us together while we were going through something so scary and hard as our, a brand new little family. You can get what I had is a retained placenta, and that could happen anywhere.
Yeah, 100%.
Anywhere.
Right.
Like, it could happen in the hospital, and it would have been the exact same thing. They would have tried everything that our midwife tried for up to a certain extent of time, and then they would have probably done more things.
Right.
And midwives can do a manual removal. Sarah offered, but I declined it because I knew that they are barbaric and it would be excruciating, and I didn't know if I could hide my pain in front of my family. And I just was like, no, we're not doing this here. I was like, I don't want it. I want to protect my family from that. Like, we just had a great birth, and I want them to be thinking about that. You're going to take me out of the situation, and we're going to go do this somewhere else, But yes, so like, midwives can do those things at home. It maybe could have prevented a transfer. Who knows? Maybe she could have gotten it, but like, I didn't want it. And in a way that felt really great too, because I had a choice.
Right.
I could have tried more things at home, or I could have chose to transfer, and both are fine. And I got to choose what I needed, and I got great care and the appropriate things I needed to be safe and well. And then we got to go home and get tucked into bed.
Well, and even after all of that, we're still choosing to do a home birth.
100%. Yeah, absolutely. No doubt in my mind. But so let's touch on like the good stuff of postpartum then, so that we're not ending like on that note. I did not have the postpartum that I desired with my first. I had her young and I just didn't have any friends or like close people who had babies, so they just didn't like get what it was like to have that transition, you know, or how like delicate the postpartum period is. I was in a very different living situation. My partner at the time was a competitive power lifter and had a competition that he went to. So like I was left post C-section. I couldn't drive. I couldn't carry the baby. I couldn't go upstairs.
Yeah, not ideal.
Yeah, and I just didn't like have anybody to like take care of me, and I really needed it, but like I couldn't ask for it
when you're recovering from like a C-section is a major surgery.
Yeah, it's a major abdominal surgery. And I just didn't have like anything really prepped, and like I don't know, it was hard. I felt very isolated and lonely and almost like abandoned. It didn't feel good.
No.
And so I really wanted a different experience. That was also very important to me. So I did a lot of prep work and I prepared a lot of meals.
You did.
That was probably one of my like favorite parts of postpartum was that
tons
food.
of soups and broths
and congee and these like really like nutrient dense like pancakes. Those were one of my favorites.
A lot of toast.
Yeah, a lot of toast and with like butter, and it was awesome. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I would have like another baby right now just to be tucked into bed and have those postpartum meals. They were freaking awesome.
Yeah.
But I put a lot of intention like leading up to it, but then a lot of it comes from having like a good partner and like having somebody who is going to step up and take care of all the things so that you don't feel guilty in any way or any sort of pressure that you need to get out of bed
right or
and
like
go take care of anything else. Or that you're a burden in any way. Like, do you want to touch on that at all? Like what, I don't know, if you had advice, I think for like other men that were in that like postpartum space.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's just being like you just being patient, because as much as like you might your partner or your wife might seem like they're okay or they're trying to do things on their own, most likely they need help, because you can't like, and you're very guilty of like trying to do things on your own and trying to handle it yourself and be like, oh, I got it. But really what you need to do as the partner is just be like, it's okay not to have it. It's okay to lay in bed. It's okay to not get up and do things and just lay with your baby and be with your baby. And it's okay to like, you kind of have to be the person that like regulates the environment as well. Like we didn't have anybody come over really other than like people like the midwife checking on you or Sarah checking on you.
No, you're the protector of that space.
Right. You have to keep that space like sacred for
and
time.
Me, the wife and the tiny little baby are very vulnerable.
For sure.
Yeah, like as the dad, like you are the protector of that space and that energy.
Well, I think even more so after what happened to you and going to the hospital, it made me feel more protective of like making sure that you felt okay and like just making sure that you were comfortable and
like emotionally or physically.
Both. I think physically and emotionally.
Yeah.
Because you just gone through, that was like traumatic.
Yeah.
Like on multiple levels.
Yeah.
But even outside of that, it's just making sure that you're present and you're there and you're stepping up to, meet the needs, because you're not going to be able to go downstairs for the most part. Like you're not, and some people can like pop up and walk around and do that kind of stuff.
Depends on the type of birth you had.
But it's
because I would have been that person.
Right.
But I literally couldn't.
Yeah.
Like I tried to take a shower for the first time and I almost passed out. Like I literally couldn't stand up. It was crazy how much of a physical toll it took on me.
Yeah.
That was hard.
Yeah.
That was really hard for me.
Yeah. And I mean, we don't have any real immediate family support here. So I mean, my mom came and stayed with us, but that was like a week or so after.
2 weeks
after.
Yeah.
When I was going back to work, which was nice.
Yeah.
It's nice to have her here.
Oh, thank goodness. I was so scared.
And just like her like helping clean up the house and stuff like that.
Well, and I remember I could barely move around.
Yeah.
I would get pale.
Mm-hmm.
I would sweat. My heart rate would like elevate. Like I literally had a hard time moving around.
Well, yeah. I mean,
like I couldn't go cook meals and like.
Well, and again, your situation was different because you literally bled out.
Yeah, the recovery was really, really hard.
It was rough, and it took a long time for your energy to come back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was really, really hard.
Yeah, but I think also just like being there and being involved with making sure that like you had time for yourself a little bit, and like I would take the baby in the morning and go downstairs and like like giving you a little bit of separation.
So I could like shower and eat something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And kind of feel like you've taken care of yourself.
I think a big one, in my opinion, as like the woman giving advice to like dads, don't like wait until she asks for something.
Yeah.
Most women in that space, like we don't like to feel like we're not capable of meeting needs, especially when you're feeling that you just like birthed a little tiny creature that literally needs everything from you. To admit that like you need help when like this thing needs all of my help, like it feels very weird. It's hard to like accept that. It makes you feel, I don't know, is weak the right word? It feels weird for most women,
right?
That we don't really want to ask. So I think one of the best things you could do as the partner is don't ask. You go in, you find the need, and you fill it.
Right.
Like, you know that she needs to be eating. Like, you know that she's
Stay
breastfeeding.
hydrated.
You know she needs to be
Like,
hydrating.
I remember having like a few things that I would do just without you asking. I was constantly filling up your electrolyte drink, your water.
I had like 3 different like
yeah, and then asking you if you wanted food.
Yeah, you would like make my breakfast.
It was like a rotation.
Yeah,
and it was like clockwork.
See, but the best part is that I knew everything there was to pick from because I had prepped it all, and I would like pick like almost like I had a menu.
Yeah, it was like color coordinated.
Yeah, I was like, okay, today I would like the red lentil soup and 2 pieces of toast with butter. Yeah, and the lemon electrolyte. Yeah, but it was nice because that made me feel good because I didn't have to be like, hey, can you get me a meal? But you also have to figure out like what to make, how to have the sources on hand for it and all that.
They were like nutrient dense.
Yeah, and all you had to do was literally heat them up.
Easy
in a pot. Like that's it. And bring it to me. And that made me feel good that I wasn't being like some huge burden because I literally couldn't feed myself.
Yeah, like having the single serving like frozen soup that I could just thaw out and heat. It was great. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it was so good.
Yeah.
And then one of my like favorite parts of our postpartum was honestly, it was really, really cool to see how many people like sent us like flowers and like cards and stuff like it was really, really cool.
Yeah, we got a lot of cool stuff.
We just got a lot of like love. It just felt really cool. I think I just like stuff like that. So it felt cool, especially for my baby. It just felt like, oh my gosh, like so many people already love you. Like this is so cool.
Right.
And then the second thing, one of the greatest things, so if anybody's looking for advice of what to do for like a postpartum family, was when Regina would offer to like take Holland. And when you could come upstairs and just lay in the bed and we would just lay there and like look at our baby and like pass her off to each other and like take a little contact nap. And like it felt really special because we didn't get that opportunity. Like, I'm so deeply jealous. Like, I think there's a part of me that will always be sad that like I didn't get to experience her first moments. Like we were separated. I didn't get to like count her fingers and toes and look at her and get to know her and talk to her and like it's gonna make me cry. Like I didn't get to do any of that. And we didn't get to do that together. That those were like really special moments for me when it was just the 3 of us to like get to know this little baby. And I like super appreciate those couple moments in our postpartum that we got.
For sure. That was nice.
One of my favorite parts was that and the food.
So I think ultimately what it came down to is we chose Homebirth because, one, we did not want to bring our baby into the world into a clinical neon light sterile setting where there is not any peace or just like the vibe is not right. We want our baby to come into the world in a loving, caring, when nurturing,
And that like
peaceful place.
and the first people who touch her are her parents.
Yeah.
Not somebody in gloves and a
Right. And
gown.
someone's
and
not grabbing the baby and taking him away and
being
giving him a shot
aggressive
and putting
rubbing
medication.
them and
Yeah, we didn't want any of that. We wanted it to feel as primal and as natural as
and
possible.
peaceful
Yes.
and loving and
Yeah, we wanted it to be organic.
intimate.
To sound cliche, we wanted our child to come organically into the world
Yeah.
in a loving environment.
Yeah.
And we got that 100%.
Yep.
And outside of the fact that, you know, we had complications after the fact and it was very scary and, you know, all of that, we wouldn't change one thing about how she came into the world.
Yeah.
And ultimately, when you're sitting down with your partner and you're making your husband or your wife and you're making the decision on, you know, what you want, the scary part of our story shouldn't deter you from making the decision of choosing the more natural, loving, caring environment over the clinical setting, because the clinical setting is still there. Like if you really need it and there is an emergency.
Well, and emergencies happen in clinical settings.
Yeah.
I feel like there's this confusion that like giving birth at home is high risk.
It's high risk to get.
It's high risk to walk into a hospital where every other person there is sick except for you.
Right. Where they're really quick to jump to a surgery.
Yeah. 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 You're going into a trained surgical profession or a professional, you know, to have your baby in this clinical sterile environment that's micromanaged and controlled with medications and interventions. Like there's risk to that as well. And I think that it's important that we say that. Like there are risks to both.
Right.
There's risk to birth. And that's my story, I think, is the beauty of it, you know, is that you can do all the things right and be in this right place, but like things still happen because that's birth. You are walking the most intimate, the closest you will ever get to the veil of life and death. That's what birth is. And it's a really wild place to be. But like you can't forget that like that's on the other side as well.
Right.
And that's anywhere. That's just what birth is. But birth deserves respect and dignity and sovereignty. And we're robbing that from families.
Yeah, 100%.
And I truly believe that birth is so impactful and it's so important, like on our babies, on our family units, on our dads, on our moms. And we're seeing like so many moms are struggling. So many dads are struggling. So many kids are struggling, you know, on every level.
Yeah.
Imagine if all babies could be born peacefully, surrounded by their mom and dad and, you know, under twinkle lights.
Yeah.
You know,
when you think, and there's always that like notion that people think, well, you don't even remember that kind of stuff when you're little. And like, those are just, you know, like you don't remember when you're born. Well, no, you don't remember when you were born, but your body and your brain remember that. And there's gotta be some science to being born in a very calm, loving environment over a sterile, chaotic environment.
I've observed it.
Yeah.
Like I swear you can tell, like I've been around a lot of babies, seen a lot of babies in the handful of years that I've been in, you know, like clinical practice. There's a difference between your babies that have had, you know, cesareans or forceps or inductions or versus the babies
mom was medicated and had a epidural.
Yeah, exactly. Versus the babies that were born all natural at home. There is a difference in their like nervous system.
Yeah.
And again, this is not, we're not sitting here saying that we're, you know, righteous and know, you know, what's best for you and your family. But my hope is that this kind of 3-part series that we're doing, maybe you'll like have your eyes open to something, or you'll consider something you've never thought of before, or you'll change your mind on something, or, you know, I've always said, like, once you home birth, you never go back.
Yeah.
Like, once you get a taste of it, once you get the itch, like, you don't go back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine doing it any other way now.
It makes me think of, like, how your sister, like, when she got pregnant with her first baby, was, like, trying to decide where she was going to go. And I was kind of like, hey, have you thought about your birth plan?
Yeah.
We were on a hike in Red Rock. I remember it. Well, her and I will never forget it. And after our like conversation, she like got in the car and called her husband and was like, we're having a home birth. And he was like, what? Okay, you know. And then I remember after the birth, he went to work, our brother-in-law, and he was like telling everybody, he's like, home birth is so cool. Like you need to seriously consider it. This is amazing. Like once you get an itch, once you get a taste of it, like you don't go back. And I'm also thinking ahead here, but something to look forward to is once we're on our trip, we are headed to Florida to go see your family, and we're going to have your brother sitting in not this chair, but our new chairs. And him and his wife just had their first home birth just last month. And so I think it'll be exciting. I'm sure you guys will end up touching a little bit on, you know, just what it's like to experience that and witness your babies and your wife, you know, giving birth in that way.
Well, and my brother has 2 other children that were, and he had them when he was much younger. And they were born in clinical hospital settings. So he's seen both. And it sounded like they were very happy with the home birth. So,
for sure. Once you home birth, you don't go back.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, we're so, I don't know, just grateful to have everybody here who's listened this long. And it's kind of crazy to think that this is our last series here in the podcast room.
This is it.
Then we're going to say goodbye to the chairs and the curtain, and
let's get the road.
Whole new new production, whole new experience.
It'll be a different vibe, but the same.
I can't wait.
I know, I can't wait either. I'm so excited.
Let's go. If you feel at home here, leaving a 5-star review helps other families find their way too.
Come hang out with us on socials at Lone Wolf Podcast, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss what's next.
Remember, sometimes you have to stray from the pack to discover where you truly belong. Until next time, loners.